This is the first post-track ride for Bustin Pietre, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, so we're calling him Bustin, or for whatever reason, the name Cricket just came to me, and I just think it suits him absolutely perfectly. So actually, Billy and I have been calling him Cricket, even though we just completely pulled that out of thin air, but he just looks like a cricket to me. Anyway, this is a 15.3 and a half hand, so just under 16 hands, and actually he's barefoot right now. So when we put front shoes on him sometime this week when my farrier gets here, I actually bet he'll stick right about 16 hands. But anyway, today he is 16.3 and a half hands. He's a 6-year-old thoroughbred gelding by Bustin Stones, which is a city zip line. And so this kid is just absolutely ridiculously cute. And not only is he adorable with all the looks, he's also an absolutely lovely mover. And it turns out that he's extremely easy to ride. So he ran 32 times. His last start was September 9th, and his last published work was October 6th. And he made $143,000 on the track. So a fairly decent racehorse. And I always just think it's so cool how, a horse can race that many times and he's not been ridden in at least a month. And then he just comes out today and he was chill, he was soft. I mean, obviously he's so soft. He makes a fabulous shape in the bridle, and he certainly can go like a hunter, with his nose poked out, but he's also really happy to be round and soft and over his top line. He's really nicely in the middle between whoa and go. So he is forward thinking and he's self-propelling on his own, but absolutely not in any sort of a hot way, or he's not overly sensitive, he's not overly reactive, he did not spook at anything for this entire ride. So he is just sort of pleasantly motoring around on his own, but he's so soft in the bridle that he's just really light on your fingertips. So you're never going to feel like there's a lot of weight in the bridle, and he's very responsive to a half halt or a whatever. He's listening, he's with you, and goodness, he is just the cutest little thing ever. And he also, so obviously he's a great mover, right? His trot is absolutely adorable. He has a fantastic canter. I mean, he just goes around so steady and cute in the bridle. I don't see how anybody could not think that this horse is just totally adorable. And when they go like this on their first post-track ride, so soft and easy in the bridle, it's just exciting because you know that 6 months, 12 months down the line, this horse could really be doing cool things. So when we started so the left is his easier direction, as is sort of typical. So he just finds the left bend to be more natural at the moment. So when we went to the right, I spent a little bit of time in the walk, just trying to get him to start to think about finding some flexion to the right, finding some bend around my inside leg, those sorts of things. These are not the things you don't fix these sorts of things in one ride. They take time, and really you're going to spend a lot of time in the walk and a lot of time in the trot, just starting to get him a little bit lateral, understanding moving off the leg, doing a whole bunch of small circles, trying to help him put his body in the right place to understand finding the right bend and all that kind of stuff. But I have to say, he's totally reasonable. He's absolutely willing to have the conversation with me. This horse had zero naughty behavior whatsoever. That does not seem like it's in his toolbox to me at all. And he's pleasant to have the conversation with about whatever it is he needs to work on. It so happens that to the right, he needs to work on starting to find some right flexion, but that is just so normal. And actually, he is working on the same thing in both directions. And what I mean by that is both directions, he wants to be a little bit heavy on that right shoulder. So when you're going to the left, he actually wants to overbend to the left and fall to the outside on the right shoulder. And when you're going to the right, he doesn't find enough flexion to the right, and he's heavy on that inside shoulder. But he certainly gave me some moments like right about here, where he's starting to think about finding some bend. And that was a much better corner. Oh, really good right there. And then, of course, the right canter is going to be the hardest thing. And if this was my personal horse, I wouldn't even be worrying about spending time in the right canter right now. You want to get the bend and the lateralness down in the walk and the trot. You want that to be down pat before you even think about the canter. And then basically when you fix it in the walk and the trot, you'll find that then it's mostly solved when you do get into the canter. But of course, this is a sales video, so I'm going to show everybody the right canter. For such a obviously a smaller type horse, he actually has a really good size stride. He doesn't feel like a small horse when you're riding him because he covers ground in his movement. And just like to the left, I mean, the canter is super balanced and adorable. And these are actually they were some good steps right here. So obviously that's heavy leaning on the right shoulder, no bend. So we're going to try and do it a little bit better here next time around. And these are some good steps right here. Of course, on the straight is going to be the easiest. There you go. That was certainly better than the last time. And then much better here down the long side. So this is just totally typical, normal green TB right off the track type stuff that you're going to be working on. It's not a problem. It's just a normal training thing to have to go through with a horse who is just starting his post-track career. And he is obviously very reasonable about all of it. And he just seems like a really sensible horse to me in the tack. I mean, I think that this is a simple horse to ride. Now, on the ground, he is learning how to cross tie. I have to say, in the last couple of days that he's been here, we've been spending a lot of time on the cross ties because he was quite confused when he first arrived about the fact that you were not attached to a human and you were expected to stay in one place. But he is actually figuring it out. He like today he was fantastic on the cross tie. So that is coming along and that will continue to come along. What else? Oh, he is a mild weaver. And when I say mild, I'm saying mild because he will weave in a stall, but he does not weave and turn out. And so he's definitely going to want to be in a home where it is not a heavy concentration of stall time, which I always prefer that my horses spend more time outside than in a box. But especially for a horse like him, he's very happy in turnout. And so that is definitely necessary for him. He just has the funniest little look on his face. He's quite hilarious with all of his expressions that he makes. And actually, he loves water. He likes to drink from the hose. He likes to play with the hose. So actually, bathing for him is one of his more favorite activities to do. That cute little face. And he's very sweet and sociable, wants to talk to you. This horse absolutely loves to eat anything and everything. So he's a cookie monster. He's a peppermint fiend. He's obviously been very spoiled for his whole life, and we're not going to change that now, but he's so cute. He pulls it off. Just an adorable little monster.